Hi, getting positive chemistry vibes? Today we are going to discuss identification tests for phenols. Beautiful colors, fluorescence will make you fall in love with them. So let's get started. These identification tests for phenol are important for their quality control purpose as well as to monitor a particular synthetic reaction when you are carrying out, say, synthesis of phenol or conversion of phenol into some other functional group. You would like to test whether phenolic functional group is present or not. So there are different tests which you can perform in the lab. Simplest one, solubility and litmus test, and some tests wherein you need to prepare the reagent but you will be able to distinguish between different types of phenol. So phenols is a collective term used for different derivatives of phenol, but phenol is must in all of them, that is hydroxy group must be directly attached to the aromatic ring. Simplest one is the solubility, as we have already talked about it. Phenols are weak acids. So because they are weak acids, they will not dissolve in weaker bases, but they will dissolve in stronger bases like NaOH and KOH. And because of acid, they will turn blue litmus into red color. Just to feed your curiosity, litmus paper test is one of the oldest fundamental tests to know about acidity or basicity of a substance. Here, ordinary paper is infused with a solution of lichen. Now, what are lichens? Lichens are nothing but two organisms living together, fungus and algae. So they are into a mutual relation wherein they grow as a single organism. Some scientists believe that they are originally fungi on which algae are growing. So they are very much rich in different dyes which can change their color in the acidic or alkaline environment. If you infuse this paper, that is keep in contact with the solution of these lichens for a longer time, that paper will get coated with these dyes, and after drying that paper you can use it as litmus paper. Majority of the litmus papers are produced today from these three species of lichens: Rossella, Dendrographa and Lecanora. And Netherlands is one of the largest producer of these litmus papers, because now these species are also becoming extinct. People are finding different ways to use synthetic dyes, as well as we have electronic probes, electrodes, which can also give indication about acidity or basicity of a compound or the exact pH. The natural paper gets blue color when it is coated with these dyes. This blue color, when it comes in contact with some acid, it turns red. So for producing red litmus paper, this originally obtained blue litmus paper is treated with some acid, and that paper is dried, and that paper is used as a red litmus. So phenols are weakly acidic, but they are sufficiently acidic to turn blue litmus red. Then we have a more of confirmatory test for phenols. Phenols when react with neutral FeCl3. This reagent is previously neutralized with NaOH because it is a little bit acidic. So initially FeCl3 is neutralized, and that neutralized FeCl3, when it is brought in contact with the phenol, either aqueous or alcoholic solution, there occurs formation of white or blue color. Now this color is because of a complex which is formed with ferric. Being a metal, it can form coordination bonds with phenol, So 6 molecules of phenol, after losing proton getting converted into phenoxide, can bind with the central metal atom, and that complex is violet in color. There occurs loss of 6 protons, 3 in the form of protons which will be attached to this salt which is negatively charged, and 3 in the form of HCl. Different phenolic compounds form different colors with FeCl3. Majority it is violet or blue. Phenol, cresol, resorcinol, hydroquinone and alpha naphthol form violet blue color, whereas catechol and beta naphthol form green color. Pyrogalol forms a blue color which quickly changes to red. Now these different colors will depend upon their electronic framework and what type of electronic transitions takes place in that particular compound, but all of them produce color, and intensity can also be measured in colorimetry. So even this test can be used for drugs which do not have their absorbance, but they can be made to form a complex which is colored. So it can be used as a quality control test. Another important test called as Lieberman-Nitroso test, do not confuse it with only Lieberman test or Lieberman-Burkert test, which is used for other compounds like alkaloids, even steroids. Here, Lieberman-Nitroso test, which is used for phenols. Phenol is treated with sodium nitrite, NaNO2, and then it is gently heated, cooled in the acidic medium. It forms a sulfate salt which is either blue, green or violet in color. When this salt is dissolved in water, it turns red. When it is again treated with NaOH, it gets back that deep blue or green color, which is because of the sodium salt. Phenolic group, which is activator for the benzene ring for aromatic electrophilic substitution. So here substitution of NO-nitroso group happens at the para position. So when phenol is treated with sodium nitrite in acidic condition, there occurs formation of para-nitrosophenol, and this can rearrange itself in the form of quinone, which is yellow in color. Another molecule of phenol and excess of acid can involve this central nitrogen, and on both the sides we can have phenol which can quickly rearrange themselves in the quinone as well as phenolic part. This sulfate complex is originally blue in color, which upon dilution with water changes to red. This red color will again change to blue color when it is converted into sodium salt. And because para position is involved in this reaction, for this reaction to happen, para position must be free. If any substituted phenol is there in which para position is not available, then this reaction will not happen. Then we have bromine water test, where phenol, when it reacts with bromine water in presence of acid, there occurs decolorization of the bromine and formation of white PPT because of tribromophenol. Here also phenol OH group being activated, it will direct all the bromine on the ortho and para positions. We have phthalate dye test, wherein phenol is reacted with phthalic anhydride in presence of acidic medium, and it is neutralized with NaOH. Upon dilution with the water, it generates pink color. Two molecules of phenol react with phthalic anhydride, and you can see the highlighted portion. Removal of water molecule from this leads to formation of a complex and you might be knowing it, it is phenolphthalein. So phenolphthalein, as long as it is in the acidic condition, it is colorless, but neutral to alkaline, it gives pink color. So different types of phenol here gives different colors. Here we can distinguish between ortho and metacresol, wherein orthocresol is red, metacresol is violet and blue color. Resorcinol gives yellow, green fluorescence. Alpha naphthol gives green color, beta naphthol gives faint green color, hydroquinone gives deep purple color. So once phenolic group is confirmed by FeCl3, by this Thalin test, we can distinguish between different types of phenols. Then we have Millen's test, wherein we need to react compound with Millen's reagent. Millen's reagent contains mercury and acid in the form of nitric acid diluted with water. So when phenol is reacted with Millen's reagent and just heated on water bath, we get red color. Like Lieberman test, here also there occurs nitroso formation. Two molecules of such nitrosophenol and with central mercury atom, this complex is red in color. This reaction was developed by a French chemist called Millen, and it is famous by his name. It is also used for identification of phenol. Next we have hydrazine test. Here compound is first dissolved in NaOH and it is evaporated to obtain a residue. It is mixed with chloroform, again evaporated to get a residue. This residue is mixed with a drop of 6-normal acetic acid and a drop of hydrazine. Now this hydrazine as a reagent is made up of hydrazine sulfate and sodium acetate boiled with water, cooled and filtered. This residue, which is treated with acetic acid and hydrazine, when it is transferred to filter paper and observed under UV light, it generates yellow to orange fluorescence. So during this reaction, when phenol comes in contact with NaOH and then chloroform in the initial evaporation stage, there occurs formylation, and that is orthoformylation. So ortho to this phenolic group, there is formation of aldehyde. Now this is formaldehyde, so it is called as a formylation. Two such molecules wherein formaldehyde has been formed, it reacts with hydrazine to form a complex which is water insoluble, so can be collected on the filter paper, and if observed under UV light, it creates yellow fluorescence. These are some references you can go through. This is a very good book by Arun Sethi called Systematic Lab Experiments in Organic Chemistry. Most of the phenol reactions are explained in that book, as well as these are some web sources from which images were taken. In the next video, we will see some important phenols like cresol, resorcinol, naphthols and their uses. Till then, have a good time. Take care.